the guys that you just
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no doubt. I think, we're still a work in progress, and we do ask a lot from a skill set for our inside guys, not only physically but also mentally. A lot's put on their plate in terms of calls. Usually as far as reading, run pass keys, run fits, and inside zone responsibilities or man responsibilities and coverage. There's a lot asked of them within the defense. But at the same time, majority of defenses, a lot is put on the inside guys to make an impact. They got to be a big factor in the run game, and then the good ones stay in the field for all the downs too. I think that's key too. When you feel comfortable playing those guys on passing situations and passing downs, I think it makes a big difference for your defense.
How do you feel like they did against the run last year, especially when the quarterback was involved?
Well, I think overall as a defense, we weren't good enough against the run. I think that's always the first goal of the defense. You got to make them one-dimensional, and it's hard to win football games if you're not stopping the run. Usually when we had success, we were pretty dang good against the run. When we were not successful, we had some leaky plays, which usually were a result of misfits or technique issues.
Some of those young guys come along, so not Colin and Will per se, but Va, who's junior, and Jackson and Nick and Blue.
They had a really good offseason. I was really happy with, their attention to detail and the work ethic. The one thing with my group is I don't have a lot of issues. I don't have to worry about guys off the field doing the right thing. Like this morning, if I got a meeting at 7:15 or whatever, those guys are going to be there, and they're probably there at 7:10 waiting for me. So I don't have a lot of worries in that regard. Now it's just about building the right habits, and all those guys are very willing. So it's on me to make sure I build the right habits, especially early on. What you want to do in spring is build those, the non-negotiables, the no loafs, football stance. Those type of techniques early on, so they're not thinking about that stuff. Then you can get a lot more detailed in what you want to do.
How do you like your depth right now in your spot?
It's up in the air right now. We're still working on that. I like it because I like the guys in my room, but you want to be as comfortable as possible as a coach, and that means having as many guys as you can to throw out there in the fire and feel good about it. So. This spring will be big in terms of depth and getting enough guys to a point where you feel really good about putting them out there on Saturday.
How many guys, realistically, in a game would you like to be able to rotate in?
In all honesty, in a perfect world, you'd love to have 6 you feel great about. Are you going to always get to play 6? Not always, but you want to feel good about playing 6 because, I think this day and age, number one, with the length of the games and the style our offense plays with, when I was playing 60, 65 snaps is a really normal game. Now it's closer to 80, 85 snaps. So to have one guy, one guy to play each position all the way through a season, it ends up adding up to 3 or 4 extra games. So you want to have guys you can rotate through, not only to keep you fresh for the game, but to keep you fresh for the season.
But you were out there.
I didn't come out, yeah. No, it's I think this day and age, though, you really, it's important to be able to play more than 2 guys all game. You need to have, like I said, you want to have a little bit of rotation going on just to keep guys fresh, keep the second string guys motivated as well. But I think in the long run, it makes you a lot better team if you can play more than one guy.
Some of the other assistants said that Scott told them to do a lot of self-scouting over the past month or so. And assuming you did the same, and what did you learn about yourself and your unit?
I think, number one, every year is a new year. And I think that goes for players, coaches, schematics, fundamentals. You always have your core beliefs, but I think the self-scout's really important to look at yourself, and you got to question everything. I know I was taught that as a player early on. Hey, question every assignment you got, because in the end you got to own it. It's no different as a coach. I got a ton of core beliefs and a ton of fundamentals that I rely on, but I look at every one of those after every offseason. This was a really good off season as a staff, defensive staff. We really got to go in depth on all that stuff, and it was good for us.
Getting some leadership from those guys, Colin.
Yeah, no, we are. Will's a naturally quiet guy. He's a little bit introverted. And I think it's important when you're talking about leadership, you don't want to be somebody you're not. Colin's a little bit more vocal, a little bit more comfortable doing that. But the key is, being the best version of yourself. And, if you're a little bit of a quieter guy, well, then you better be that much better at leading by example. And if you are a vocal guy, then we expect you to be vocal when you're supposed to be vocal. And I think the position we have requires that you're vocal more than most guys too. So those guys have done a good job of, being leaders within their personalities.
Is Colin more vocal?
Yeah, he is. He's a little bit more vocal. Number one, he's more comfortable. He's more comfortable at the spot. This is going into his third season at the inside spot, so he's a lot more comfortable than he was there. Even going into last spring. So it's a lot easier for him to go out and be vocal and make checks because he knows what he's doing now. So you can't be a leader if you don't know what you're doing. So he knows what he's doing now, and in turn, you've seen the leadership step up.
I don't know if it's been asked yet or not, but have you seen Va kind of mesh in and transition into being in Nebraska?
He's meshed great, man. He's got a really cool story, and he's where he grew up is nowhere near Nebraska, but he's already really meshed with the guys. He's got a good personality. Works hard, doesn't say a whole lot yet, which, when you're new here, you don't need to say a whole lot. He's just soaking it all in, but, the way he attacked the weight room, this is his first extended weight training program he's ever been on. He's made big strides there, and I expect him to make big strides in the football part of it, too.
Part of his skill set is going to help you guys.
I think just the natural tenacity. I think the coolest thing about him on film was you just saw him play really, really hard. And that's got to be always his staple. He's going to learn the techniques, the fundamentals. He's going to learn the intricacies of the scheme and all that stuff. But beyond anything, man, we need somebody that's playing really, really hard. That's what that's what his best attribute is.
His coach said he was kind of his coach called him the biggest hidden gem in all of junior college football. I mean, would you kind of agree that he was?
I know. I mean, who knows about the entire country, but we were excited about him, and I guess I was when we were recruiting during the season. Sometimes it is a hidden gem when you find guys that pop up during the season, and we were really excited when we saw his film. I want to say it was September, something like that, when I saw his film for the first time. So it was cool to see him, and 2 years ago he was a 5'11", 165-pound kid from Samoa, and now he's 6'1.5" and almost 210 and still growing. So it's been a cool story, and there's no doubt he's one of those late bloomers that we hope continues to grow and excel.
Do you have an ideal weight that you want to see him get to? Or?
I think with all my guys, I think there's kind of that combination of being as explosive and powerful as you can be, but yet maintaining your speed and your burst. This day and age, I mean, there's not many 250-pound linebackers playing anymore. So if you're a guy, for example, in my mind, Brian Urlacher, he was almost 6'5", so he was 250. But when you're a guy who's between 6'1" and 6'3", it's kind of whatever your natural frame carries. So if you're explosive and sudden at 220, I want you there. If you're explosive and sudden and fast at 235, I want you there. But you probably won't see a whole heck of a lot of 245-pound plus linebackers in our system.
How does that process work? Do your recruiting guys show you 10 guys to look at, or how does that work?
More than 10. I watch a lot of guys, man. That's a good question as far as the number of guys I've watched. I don't know how many that is. I think Sean Dillon gives me a list of I have to have watched 100. Maybe more, pretty in depth, and then
the JUCO guys.
Not JUCO. I bet you JUCO's closer to 20. I would guess 20. Now that could be a little bit off, but then it becomes with JC guys, it's always a fit thing with us too. I think some JUCO guys are the perfect fit for us. I think some JUCO guys maybe aren't the right fit for us. So we're looking for those guys that still have that high character, still have that high intelligence and that work ethic. That is one of the benefits I think about the junior college, though, is usually those guys are pretty hungry, because I've been to some of those junior colleges. They're not always the nicest, place to go to school at. And, the facilities aren't quite as good. So a lot of times you get guys that are very hungry coming out of there.
From Luke Reimer.
He's been really good. He's been a guy he was impressive from day one last year, and he's continued to build on that. So he may be the most explosive guy we got at linebacker right now as far as an athlete. He was a multi-sport guy in high school, good track guy, and it shows on the field. He's got really good speed, and he's got a natural knack for it. He shows up around the ball, which is a linebacker. That's a big deal.
Surprise you? I mean, what he showed right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he's from Lincoln, and we got him to walk